Alright, so in this clip, we would like to begin with the particles being the fluid emitters. Alright, so first we'll like to begin while drawing or sketching of the particles, and then we'll like to provide the fluid them as an emitter. So you need to go inside the end particles. It's your decision. You may could go for the end particles, or you may could go for the legacy particles. Both system will going to work perfectly, no problem at all. So instead of going with the old-fashioned, creating emitter stuff like that, I just want to make the process very simple. So I like to go with the particle tool, and first of all with the resets, tool, I would like to increase the number of particles. So let's say 6, with a radius of let's say 0.1, and sketch out the particles. So once I'm done with this, I could just simply able to design any kind of a sketch. Alright, so it's pretty much straightforward. Now what I need to do is that I can create the 3D container, and I can also position my particles along with that. I just put that thing beyond the grid, so particles being a little greater than the overall container size. So no need to worry for that, we can increase that also. So I just resize the fluid containers, and before I make the particles the emitter of the fluids, I would like to tweak down the motion of the particles. So if you just play the timer, you can see that there's nothing going on, because the particles, they don't have the emitters, as well as we do not have provided any field to change the velocities or the acceleration of the particles. So I can select the particles. It's a pretty straightforward process. You can go inside the field and solvers. I can provide the turbulence field. So we like to give a very high magnitude, let's say 30, and we don't wish to have any attenuation, so that we want the entire magnitude to focus on from the very first frame. So if we give the attenuations 1, so it simply means that with respect to the time, it will going to reach to this magnitude, and frequency to be 0.25, no problem. So inside the preferences, the max playback speed is free, so we like to give it to the real time. And now if we like to play, you can see the particles, they have been going and been getting mad all around. So the best way to fix is that first of all we need to reduce the conserve, let's say 0.9, and I also would like to give the age. So let's say instead of the live forever, we would like to give a random range 1 is to 0.25. Alright, pretty straightforward. Now if we like to play, you can see that okay, I think the particle is still taking a lot of time, so I can revisit my setting and just get rid of the size also. So now if you like to play the timer, you can see that the particle, they just disappears. You could also do one thing, that you could little increase the timeline, let's say 0.75. okay, no problem. So now if you like to play the timeline, the particles are been getting retained inside the viewport for a little bit more longer time. So how do we going to apply the particles as the emitter of the fluid? So we need to select the particles, we need to select the fluid containers. Under the fluids, we can give add edit contents, and let's say emit from the object, because particles are also still considered to be the objects. So apply and close. Now I can get rid of the particles, I can hide them up. So in case of the fluids, as know that the fluid emitter, we need to give a lot of changes. Well, the first is that you can see that the particles are now being getting affected by the turbulence field, so they are definitely getting animated. So we need to use the motion streak, because for the moving emitters, remember. And then we also utilize the speed method to the replace, and inherent velocity, set that thing to the 5. Okay, plus as you know that once we utilize the motion streak, the entire particle will going to emit fluid from, or you could say the fluid emission will going to take place from 1 centimeter of the particles, from the position of the particles, which is quite a high. So bring it to the 0.1, and to counter that, I can also increase the rate percentage to let's say 1000. So now the fluid resolution is pretty much less. I can give it to the 100, and can get rid of the bottom section, so that we could under the display we can take it to the bounding box. And with this you could able to create wonders, because the This is really a very excellent technology the Autodesk has added inside the Maya, and it's really great that you have got the support of the fluids with respect to the particles, and when they both work together, it's just like a synergy. All right, so I hope so you got the concept, you got the point. Now it's time to move to the next clip where we would like to talk about the emission of the fluid with respect to the curve.